Okay, so we're now going to have a look at the grid method for slightly larger numbers. If you want to look at the grid method for smaller numbers, multiplying smaller whole numbers together, then you need to look at the level 1 demo. So we're going to look at how to multiply numbers in the thousands by 2-digit numbers, so 4-digit by 2-digit numbers. And I've set up a grid with 4 rows and 2 columns for us to write our digits in. You could write your table the other way around if you wanted to. It really doesn't make very much difference to your final answer. I filled in the values down here, 7,210, 17 for my 7,217, and 10 and 5 across the top for the 15. And now we're going to fill in the empty cells in the table. We're going to use the technique of multiplying the 7 and the 1 together here, and then counting up how many placeholding zeros we need to put on the end. So 7 lots of 1 is 7, so we'll write that in the cell, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 placeholding zeros to pop on the end. So our number is 70,000. We're going to multiply 2 by 1, which gives us 2, and we have 1, 2, 3 placeholding zeros. We pop those on the end, so that's 2,000. Then we've got 1 times 1, which is 1, and 2 placeholding zeros, which confirms what we know, that 10 times 10 is 100, and 7 times 10 is 70. And again, we could say 7 times 1 is 7 with 1 placeholding zero. And if I just get rid of some of my little underlines, just do that a sec, just have a little bit of a tidy up while we do the second column. Okay, so we've got 7 times 5 is 35, so we write the 35 down, and the only placeholding zeros we have come from the values over here on the left now, so we have 3 placeholding zeros on the end. Then we've got 2 times 5 is 10, followed by 2 placeholding zeros. We have 10 times 5 is 50, and 7 times 5 is 35. And I found the easiest way to finish this off is to add across in pairs to get some subtotals, which I write on the end, and then I total up the 4 values I end up with. So you've got 70,000 and 35,000, well that's 105,000. And a good tip here is to make sure you line up your units correctly, and then all the place values along should follow on. We've got 2,000 and 1,000, which is 3,000. So I've lined it up on my units. 150 is 150. And 70 and 35 is 105. So now I've got my 4 values, I can total them up to see what my final answer is going to be. So adding up the units, we have 5 units, we have 5 tens, there are 2 hundreds, 8 thousands, no tens of thousands, and 1 100,000. So I think this should be 108,255. And it's as simple as that. Let's have a go at another one. So 9,645 times 21, same size grid as before, and I filled in the values in the same way. 9,640 and 5 from my first number, and 20 and 1 from my second. And now I'm going to start filling in my cells. 9 times 2 is 18, so I put my 18 in the cell here and count up 1, 2, 3, 4 placeholding zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 6 times 2 is 12, so I put my 12 down and count up 1, 2, 3 placeholding zeros. 4 times 2 is 8, followed by 2 placeholding zeros. And 5 times 2 is 10, followed by 1 placeholding zero. And the right hand column here is nice and easy because it's 1 times everything, and when you multiply anything by 1 you end up with the same thing that you started with, and so we can just write those values in without worrying too much. And again, I'm going to add these across in pairs and total up on the end. If you wanted to, you could add down here and just total up 2 values at the end. It really shouldn't make any difference to your final answer. It just depends on which you prefer. So we've got 180,000 plus 9,000, which is 189,000. 12,000 plus 600, which is 12,600. 840, which 840, and 105 on the bottom. And again, make sure you line up your units carefully. So I have 5 units, 4 tens, 6 and 8 is 14 and 1 is 15 hundreds, carry the 1 across. 9 and 2 is 11 and the 1 we carried is 12 thousands, carry 1 across. 8 and 1 is 9 and 1 I carried is 10, so write the 0 down and carry across to the 100,000s. So the 1 we've got and the 1 we carried gives us 2 100,000s. So 202,545. Right, we'll do a couple more and then you can have a go at some. So a 4-digit by 2-digit calculation. So again, I've set up the same size table as we have had in the previous 2 questions. 8,527 down the side and 34 across the top. And again, we're going to use the same trick as before. 8 times 3 is 24, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 place holding zeros. 5 times 3 is 15, 1, 2, 3 place holding zeros. 2 times 3 is 6, followed by 2 place holding zeros. And 7 threes are 21 with 1 place holding 0 on the end. And in this column, 8 fours are 32, and the only place holding zeros again are over on the left. 5 fours are 20, followed by 2 place holding zeros. 2 fours are 8, followed by 1 place holding 0, and 7 fours are 28. So we'll add up in pairs again and see what we get. So 240,000 plus 32,000 is 272,000. 15,000 plus 2,000 is 17,000. 600 plus 80 is 680, and 210 plus 28 is 238. So again, we will add these up, see what we get. So we've got 8 units, and 8 and 3 is 11, so 1 down, carry the 1. 6 and 2 is 8, and the 1 we carried is 9. Now we're into the thousands column here, so 2 and 7 is 9. 7 and 1 is 8 10,000s, and on the end here we have 200,000s. So we've got 289,918. You can get pretty quick at these. You just do need to know your tables and be able to multiply by 10 and 100 and 1,000 and so on. Now I've set up the same size grid here, but when you actually start to fill the numbers in, you actually see that we don't need quite as many rows as previously because of the 0 here in the middle of this first number. We actually don't have any hundreds in this number, so it's okay if you've got the extra row, don't be bothered by it, but you don't actually need that many rows this time. So again, let's go ahead and fill this in. 2 times 5 gives you 10, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4 place holding zeros. Just be careful with the zeros in that one. And then we've got 7 times 5 is 35, followed by 1, 2 place holding zeros. 4 5s are 20 with the 1 place holding 0 at the top. And down on the right hand column now, 2 4s are 8, followed by 3 place holding zeros. 7 4s are 28 with 1 place holding 0 on the end, and 4 4s are 16. And we've got a little bit less adding up to do this time. And what have we got? We've got 100,000 and 8,000, so 108,000. We've got 3,500 plus 280, so we've got 3,780, and 200 adds 16 gives us 216. That gives us 6 units, 9 tens, 9 hundreds, 11 thousands, put the 1 down, carry the 1, No tens of thousands, but we did carry 1, so that gives us 1 there, and 100,000. So 111,996. Okay, some for you to have a go at now. I suggest you pause this recording and have a go at them, and once you've finished, then you can restart it and check your answers.